I was caring for not one, but 2 cats that needed medical attention. So I didn't even know this report existed. I was never contacted about it. So she pulls this out in front of a judge and starts reading this as if it was fact in front of a judge with all the TV cameras rolling. TV news broadcasts it that night. She uses this report to justify putting a $250,000 bail on me, now upping this to felony charges, all for a guy who was targeted, attacked, trying to get away from the scene, acting in self-defense. So I'm fortunate enough for organizations like Oregon Firearms Federation and other people who contributed to my defense fund, because again, they tossed me in jail at that point on a $250,000 bail. So we were able to raise enough defense funds and bail funds to get me bailed out after 11 days of being in jail. And so when I get out, I then have to report to this pretrial release officer, which is similar to the probation officers. This person, Chelsea Fanua is her name, F-O-N-U-A. She orders me while I'm out, similar conditions to being on probation, but she can also impose other restrictions. She tells me that I cannot post videos on YouTube, I cannot blog, I cannot go on Twitter, I can't talk to the media, I can't go to political events. That's what she's ordering me while I'm out on this pretrial release.
They're afraid.
They don't want the truth to get out there. They don't want me to be able to tell my story. They want all these other people to be able to tell their false narrative about what had happened. So my first-person video, which had been immediately confiscated by the police, which is the only angle that shows the initial attack, that was ordered as sealed evidence by the judge, so the public could not see that. Also ordered as sealed evidence by the judge, Thomas Ryan, Multnomah County Circuit Court. Also ordered sealed evidence is the surveillance video from the Hatfield Courthouse right across the street from where this happened, which shows this mob gathering up, putting their masks over their faces, huddling up to coordinate and plan how they're going to come and attack me. Sealed evidence, public can't see it. So it comes time for the trial. They've dragged me all the way through trial up to this point. The judge rules to be inadmissible my statements that I gave to the detective that night, stating why I felt in fear, what had happened. What I said to the judge is ruled to be inadmissible. Also inadmissible was the fact that 16 months before this had happened, I did have 2 video cameras stolen from me. I was body slammed onto the pavement. I had my arm broken. I personally had experienced this thing in the past, just 16 months beforehand. Judge ruled that's inadmissible, irrelevant. Has no bearing on someone's mindset when they're facing a similar situation. So all the evidence that shows that I acted in self-defense, based on what had happened before, based on the videos, based on my own mindset, all that is ruled to be inadmissible. So there's claiming that there are 10 victims in all of this, only 2 of whom were ever identified and never came forward. That being the big dude, Carenza, with the lengthy criminal record, who started the fight. The other one being the guy who circled around my back, who distracted my attention, leaving Carenza to then make a run up my blind side. Those are the only 2 people who ever came forward. So one of the things that we motioned for was change of venue, because we knew that there was all this untrue stuff going on in the media, largely based off of what the district attorneys themselves said in front of the news cameras. That's completely untrue, completely false, no evidence to support, that they even admitted was a lie that they never brought up later on. So we wanted to change a venue to move to a different county because we knew that everybody in Portland was going to be tainted by this. So judge denied that. So we had to go with what's called a bench trial, where the judge is the one who is the finder of fact. Because there were people on the jury who were at the protest, there were people at the jury who I had filmed in the past. There was one of the groups that I focused on when I was doing this journalism is called Ceasefire Oregon. They're the anti-gun group in Oregon. And I would oftentimes post videos from their director, Penny Okamoto, saying and doing stupid stuff when she gives her presentations. One of the people in the jury is a volunteer for this organization and has known about me for years. That was the jury pool that we had to work with. So we decided to go with the bench trial, and the judge eventually found me guilty of 21 counts. 10 felonies of unlawful use of a weapon, 10 counts of menacing, 1 count of disorderly conduct, when 8 of these supposed victims never came forward. We didn't even know who they are. So I'm continuing to fight the case. This is now plotting through the appeals process, which is a whole nother animal. This gal who works for the state, Susan G. Howe is her name. She's lying in the things that she's reporting to the appeals court. She's claiming it's Carenza and 3 other people, when really it was Carenza and a whole bunch of other people. The reason why she's saying things like that is to minimize the trauma that I was going through at that point in time, because if someone's engaging in, I forget the term exactly, but conduct to, bring alarm to the public, with 5 or more people, that's now considered riot, a Class C felony, which is precisely what Carenza and the others were doing. By her trying to say it was only Carenza and a couple of other people, that she's thereby trying to minimize what had actually happened. So I feel as though I am the victim of coercion, which is using force and threats to prevent someone from engaging in something they have the right to do. I consider myself the victim of riot. I consider myself the victim of Carenza's menacing, Carenza's harassment, but Carenza is considered the innocent victim in all of this. So this sets a very scary precedence, and the Fox 12 guys need to be worried about this. The guy from the Photographers Association needs to be worried about this.